Hey everybody, back with a different video, and it's early in the morning here, and I'm just kind of up in my office, and it has been a wild and crazy last couple weeks for investors, and I haven't had a chance to make a video because I've been very busy. And I want to, if I could entitle this video anything, I would want to entitle it "The Death of the Collector." If you want to go back and look at a great video about what the essence of a true collector is, Dead Board Cardboard has a video on the Lionel Carter collection. Lionel Carter was one of the pioneers in card collecting. It's about a 35-minute video, but it'll definitely, for those of collectors like me who consider themselves a collector, it's a must-watch. Must-watch. Great video he put up. But this Lionel Carter, he collected cards from the very beginning, like from the 30s. He was pulling Gaudy packs, pulling cards out of packs. And he did it his whole career. And there came a time, though, when his collection, it became so valuable that it was a threat to him. And you'll see in the video, don't want to give it all away, but someone broke into him and his wife's home. He had all his cards in his basement, and he had to sell them off because he just didn't, he knew his time. He was elderly. But also, you could tell that he knew that he wasn't safe with them, that the hobby had outgrown him. And I think that was a time where card collecting was very hot and prices just exploded. It was good for him in the sense that he could get all that value out of it, but in a sense it pained him because as a collector, he didn't want to lose those cards. They were a part of him, part of what he spent his whole life collecting and achieving. And he had to let them go. And I feel like as a collector, I can relate to that. I just recently had to open up a safe deposit box and to put some of my more treasured cards because I just didn't feel safe with them being in my home anymore. And I almost feel a little dirty about it. I'm very saddened by it. And I walk by the bank. The bank is just a few blocks from my house. And I'm going to go do my morning run, and I'll run by, wave to my cards that are in the safe deposit box at my bank. But it's just the prices are so insane right now. I didn't feel like there was any other option. I also took out a new insurance policy, and that's kind of another thing that drove me in that direction. I just felt like I couldn't afford, to have, a tornado come through and take out $100,000 card collection. And who knows what things are valued at right now because the market is changing so much. But I think the era of the collector is coming to an end. The era that I knew for the last 9 years that I've been collecting is definitely over. You go online and you're looking and you're bidding on something and you're like, there's 42 people watching this item, and it's not even a big item. I'm like, well, who are all these people? I look at the prices of some of the stuff for Mark McGuire stuff right now. I'm like, who are these people that are buying this up? I know they're not collectors. But I want to do a series. I do want to do a series because, you kind of adapt with the times as best you can, right? And I think we collectors are the ones that are best equipped to adapt because we have the experience. We know not to get involved with the hype. We know that you don't want to put your whole bankroll into a young prospect who hasn't even taken one major league at bat. You go with the blue chips. You go with the guys that connect with you, the guys that you have an emotional connection to. And that's really what drives the value is when people come back to this hobby when they're my age, when they have that disposable income, they're going to collect the guys they were attached to. They're not going to be, coming back to collect Kevin Moss. They're going to be coming back to collect King Griffey Jr. because that was the kid. That was the kid that they watched grow up on that baseball diamond as they grew up. And so I've been using I've been busy the last couple weeks. I have some discretionary income that I wanted to reinvest in something, that I wanted to turn around and say, listen, I'm tired of getting 0.01% from my bank. And I'm a saver by nature and I'm a collector, but I wanted to turn it into something and use my card collecting savvy and wisdom to go as it from an investor's perspective, to step away from the collector and say, hey, if I was an investor, what would I do with $10,000? $10,000, it's an interesting question. And one of my coworkers, I want to say 2.5 years ago, he asked me, Dave, would you give me an idea of how to invest $10,000 in the sports market? And I told him straight up. I said, first thing you're going to need to get is going to get a PSA 8 Michael Jordan 1986 Fleer. I broke it all down to him. I made a nice chart all the way up to $10,000. About that time, Jordan was selling. I said, buy at 1,800. That was what Jordan was selling at 2.5 years ago as an 8. I had things like the Griffey, the Frank Thomas, and Jim Mint. The thing is, if he would have bought that, he would have turned his $10,000 into more than $30,000, which I mean, I don't know what other investment you could, but I had that knowledge and I knew exactly what was going to be popular. The fact of the matter is, though, I didn't do it myself. It wasn't because I didn't have the money to invest. It was because I viewed myself as a collector. And I didn't need to add anything to the collection that wasn't for the collection. And at that point, I just didn't want to justify tying up that money, that $10,000 and all that stuff. And I had a lot of that stuff already. I just didn't have the Jordan rookie. But this last few weeks, I know it's really unstable times with the card market because the prices are fluctuating so much. But I've really tried to focus on collecting some key blue chip names, guys that are not going to be going down in value anytime soon. They've already either well finished their career or are on the twilight days of their career and are largely forgotten. The primary focus is going to be on a couple guys from the 90s that started in the 90s in basketball and football. And I'm just giving you a little preview here. You can see my Tim Duncan Flair Showcase Rainbow, if you will. I've got the row 0, the row 1, and the row 2. And let me tell you what, I've been spending money like a drunken sailor in Singapore, I can tell you that. It has been almost an exhausting experience with the whole situation, what's going on, and I've been stuck at home, and I've been doing this like I would a job. And I'm not looking to do this. I'm not going to sell any of these cards. I'm not flipping any of these cards. I'm not a flipper by any means. I don't think I'll ever reach that point. No offense to you flippers out there. You play a role in the hobby as well. But I've never been a guy that buys something and sells it. I really have a hard time. Like I'm even looking at my Mark McGwire rookie stuff. I've got it all. I've got, O-Pee-Chee and the Tiffany, all that stuff, because my 87 Tiffany Mark McGwire, I got for 99 cents, a year and a half ago is selling for $100. So, this is the stuff, that's really hot right now. This die cut. I'll show you some things instead of hearing me just talk. A die cut SP. I think one of these just sold for near $200. I paid $30 for that. The Tiffany products are really hot, with the big names. And these are just a couple cards I just pulled off the stack. These are in my, my petty cash bin, if you will. They're not even in my, put in the safe. I don't even know. I don't know. I can't even give you a value of my collection right now because all the stuff that I consider junk wax era stuff that I bought for $5 here, $6 here is now worth over $100. So it is crazy times, but I really think that we have turned a page and turned a corner. And as this thing becomes more mainstream, there's a certain window where we collectors have to get the stuff that we want to collect before it becomes too expensive for us. And while doing that, we have an opportunity also to stock up. You know what? If I buy 3 of one card that I want to collect, then maybe I can trade that for something else later on that isn't available, or sell it and then buy something else. So be savvy about it. I don't collect to invest. I just love the cards. But there's a lot of people that are coming back for the love of the hobby too. The stuff ties them to their childhood, ties them to good memories. So that being said, I'm going to cut this video short. But I just wanted to show you a little bit about what's to come, give you a little preview. I'm going to start doing these videos, and it's going to take some time because I tell you what, I'm trying to invest $10,000, and the window is closing. So as I go through it, there's a lot of cards to go through, and I can kind of show the progression of what I'm thinking is going to continue and keep its value over the next couple years, and get those last few deals while you can before the big money comes in for good. But that's all I've got for you. Once again, everyone, I appreciate your posts, your comments, and I'll talk to you again soon.